Hi math students, this video is to help you with your upcoming checkpoint. So you can print this page out and follow along and fill it in with me, or if you don't have a printer, that's okay. You can do it electronically, or you can just write this on your own paper. Just write your answers on your own paper. But remember, this is really important because you can use this as your notes for your checkpoint. Okay, so number one, which table of values represents the exponential function right here? So to test which of these table of values will work for this function, you're just going to start plugging in the x values and see if it works. So you can really pick any of them that you want. Let's start with 0, because 0 is pretty easy to plug in. So if I plug in 0 right here, I would write this down so that you can make sure you do it correctly. So y equals 0.2 to the 0 power minus 1. So if I simplify that, remember anything to the 0 power equals 1. And then I still have this minus 1. So I get my answer as y equals 0, which is right. That's what came out here, so that works. Let's try another number. Let's plug in 1 here. So if I plug in 1, I get y equals 0.2 to the first power minus 1. Okay, so 0.2 to the first power. Well, anything to the first power is just itself. And I'm going to subtract 1. So 0.2 minus 1 would be negative 0.8, negative 0.8. And that is not what came out right here. So this table of values cannot work. So let's see if this one works. Well, if I plug in that 0 number again, I already did that once and I got out 0, so that works. If I plug in 1, I just did that one and I got negative 0.8, so that works. So we should probably test a couple more here to see if this works. If I plug in 2, let's do that one over here. Y equals 0.2 to the second power minus 1. So 0.2 to the second power, that's 0.2 times 0.2, which is 0.04. Remember, it's okay to use a calculator if you need to. Minus 1. So 0.04 minus 1 would be negative 0.96, which is what came out here. Yep, so it looks like this table of values is going to work. And you can test that negative 1 also if you want. So which table of values works? It's this one. Okay, number 2, consider the following graph of the exponential function modeling the geometric sequence right here. So they already graphed it for you. The question is, what is the R, or the growth factor, between the points listed? So let's just look at these 2 points first. The growth factor R is like the slope. So it's like rise over run. So if I look at right here, my rise, how far did I go up? Right now I'm at 3. And I went all the way up to 9. So I went up 6. And I went over from 1 to 2. I went up 6 and over 2, or over 1, sorry. Up 6 and over 1. So my R, my growth factor right here between these 2 points is 6. Let's see what the growth factor is between these 2 points. So I was at 9 and I went all the way up to 27. So up from 9 to 27 is up 18. And I went over 1, up 18 and over 1. So my growth factor there is 18 over 1, or just 18. So if it asks you what's the growth factor between 2 points, you just find the slope, the rise over the run. Okay, and number 3. Which function has a horizontal asymptote equal to 2? This function or this function? So if you don't yet know how to use Desmos.com, it's an online graphing calculator, I'm going to show you right now because that is how I would graph these so you can see them. So I am going to plug these in. 5 to the 2x. So 5, you can use these little keys down here to add exponents. 5 to the 2x. And look, it's already graphing it for you. Here's 5 to the 2x, but I still need to add the plus 3. Plus 3. So you can see what doing that plus 3 did for you when it was just, look at my graph right here if I subtract the plus 3. So 5 to the 2x is right here. And when I hit that plus 3, all it did was scoot it up 3. It gave it a horizontal asymptote of 3. So does this one have a horizontal asymptote of 2? No, it doesn't. Let's look at the other one that was on the paper. I'll leave that one there actually. So this one was 4 times 3 to the x. And they had already plopped it on there for us. And I need to do plus 2. So when I did that plus 2, it just raised it up 2 here. So it gave it a horizontal asymptote of 2. So the question said, which one had a horizontal asymptote of 2? Well, it's the one that had the plus 2 on it. And you might have known that just by looking at the functions, but you could also graph them on this awesome website, desmos.com, and you can see it right in front of you, which one has the horizontal asymptote of 2. Okay, so I will just circle this second one. Number 4, sketch the graph of the exponential function f of x equals 3 to the x minus 3. So you can use the same website I just showed you, desmos.com, to just be able to sketch a little graph of that on here. So I'm going to get rid of these ones from the last question and do 3 to the x minus 3. So you can see that moved it down 3. And then here's our graph. So if you wanted to just sketch this, you're going to have that horizontal asymptote at -3. And you can see where it crosses the y-axis right here at 0, -2. So I'm going to sketch that on my graph. And then you can see it crosses the x-axis here at 1, 0. So I'll show you what my sketch looks like. So all I did was I put those 2 points on, and then I kind of sketched just the general curve there. Okay, and number 5, looking at these two graphs, what can you say about the asymptotes? So if I look at graph A, I can see that it's going to have a horizontal asymptote at -4 because it totally levels off right there. This one, it's hard to say. It's still going and going and going. We can't say anything about this asymptote. We don't have enough information about that. But you can say it has a horizontal asymptote at -4. Looking at graph B, I also see a horizontal asymptote at -4. And then this one, we can't really tell. It's still going out a little bit, so we don't have enough information there. So I would say that they both have a horizontal asymptote at -4. Okay, so that should help you with the next checkpoint. So if you feel good about that, go ahead and take your checkpoint quiz right now. And if you still need more help, you can call, text, email, IM, whatever you need before you take that checkpoint.